You can tell I'm in the car because we are road tripping back to Alberta today, which means we've already had the pleasure of one road trip out. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. It's how do you eat well when you're on holidays or in vacay mode or, going on that 7 or 8 hour road trip, and when there's special events. Like in our country, we just had Canada Day, and then there's July 4th happening. And so when you're trying to lose weight, these things matter, right? These things matter because if you're going to make permission and give yourself permission to just do whatever when you're on that road trip, or, oh, it's Canada Day, I'm going to eat the cake and the cookies and the ice cream and the Twizzlers and the popcorn, and I'm just not going to think about it today. And then you continue the road trip. Like, you're not going to see weight loss happen. So much of what it takes to stay committed is what you think about and what you want. And so I was talking to my special group this morning, amazing participants in my group program called The Wait Is Over. And, one of the questions 2 weeks ago had been, oh my gosh, Jen, I'm going to a family reunion. There's going to be so much food there. How do I make it, right? How do I not have to feel so stressed and obsessed and anxious when I'm in that situation? And we've pretty much been doing potlucks all week here, so I get it. I really understand how it can lead to uncertainty and worry, and that takes away from the experience, right? No one wants to be sitting around worrying about their weight or white knuckling a diet or feeling like if you eat some chips that all of a sudden you've just blown everything. That is such a dieting mentality. It puts you into hard rules and deprivation and restriction, and eventually when you deprive yourself for too long, you binge. The overeating is bound to happen. So if you have a pen and paper, grab it. Let's write down some notes and let's see if we can help you manage your own set of circumstances as things pop up for you over the next few days. So let's talk about just traveling in general, specifically car trips. So in the days of old, the car trips that would have happened in my life would have involved food, right? Because driving is boring. Being in a car for 5, 8, 10 hours is boring. What do you do when you're bored? You eat, you snack. It gives you something to do. Doesn't make it healthy, but it's often what you do. You stop at a gas station, you grab a bag of chips. You stop, to grab lunch, and you get the combo meal or whatever it might be. And instead, what we do now, as opposed to just having so many carbohydrates in the car kind of available, like if they're in the car, you're going to eat it. You just will. You're human. And we're also designed to finish the bag. So if you buy the big bag of chips, notice how you might have the best of intentions. You buy the bag of chips, but you're not going to eat it all. You tell yourself, but before you get to the destination, the whole bag of chips is gone. Yeah, it's not because you're bad. It's because humans are designed to consume. And there's no cues for us to shut off. So when you are road tripping, it is so important to give yourself that extra chance to plan ahead and prep. And I know it sounds lame, and I know it sounds like it takes extra work, but it is so worth it. So I'm going to paint a before and after picture for you. So before, what my prep would have looked like would have been going to the grocery store, and absolutely I would have grabbed a bag of Twizzlers. I would have grabbed some Diet Pop. I would have grabbed some those flavored rice cakes, a bag of chips probably, and crackers, maybe some cheese and crackers, right? We had a little cooler. There might have been some fruit in there, but it was pretty carbohydrate dense. It just was. And then, we'd eat, but we would eat every hour on the hour, it was just something that we kept doing because it was boring to drive. So fast forward to how we car trip now. It's very different. First of all, I make sure that we have a cooler full of good healthy stuff. Today we're road tripping back to Alberta, so we are going to stop at one of the farmers markets and just grab some fresh carrots, some pea pods, some of the fresh fruit that's in there, just being really mindful of portion. And we always have tons of water, right? So my kids, myself, we all make sure that we have a water bottle that we're traveling with so that we don't have to rely on grabbing drinks from a gas station. And if we do, we typically buy water, but it adds up too. And then what we do is we actually figure out what we're going to have for lunch. We make a planned stop if we haven't pre-made something already. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. On the way out, we did. On the way going back home to Calgary today, we don't have that. And it's just my husband and I, so it's a little bit easier. So we'll take some time and enjoy a stop somewhere. Don't know what it's going to be yet, but I know that there's tons of flexibility because we're not going to be snacking on junk along the way. So, you got to change it up, right? You've got to be willing to change what you're currently doing to get a different result than the one that you're getting. And I'm going to tell you that I still like Twizzlers. I still do, but I don't like how they make me feel, and I don't like the consequences that I get from eating them, which is, it's weight gain or just a feeling, like a sick feeling in my tummy and too much sugar coming in. So now let's talk about what do you do when you're kind of in this like beginning of summer, the potlucks, the barbecues. Here it was Canada Day, July 4th is coming up in the States. There's lots of celebration and festivities, which can mean there's a boatload of food. These are such good tips, you guys. Write them down, because if you're in a potluck or buffet situation, it can just sort of be like food overload, and then our plate becomes overloaded. So step one, so let's just talk about potluck buffet, those two kind of things. Step one, survey all of the food and delimit, immediately figure out the 50% of it that you're not going to have. Honestly, not everybody's a good cook. Not everybody's going to bring a dish that you like. You don't need to try everything. You just don't. So ditch the stuff that you don't like and just wipe it from your mind. Then make another rule around, you don't need extra bread. You just don't. Often there's going to be buns and different things like that people bring, and you don't need it, right? There's going to be things that you probably would prefer to have more than that. Then when you go through it, get a plate and really think about your portions, right? So if there's pasta salad, noodle salad, potato salad, some sort of what else? What's it called? Like wild rice salad or couscous salad. I mean, a lot of that it's carbohydrate based. Kelly, yay, hi. It's carbohydrate based. And so pretty soon, if you're taking scoops of all of that, you've got more carbohydrate on your plate than you need in over 2 days. So less is more. Right? You can try everything, but start to think about a quarter of a cup, right? You're telling yourself, I'm little. I just don't need that much. Definitely try to pick your favorite protein. Hopefully somebody's bringing that. If you have the opportunity to bring something to one of these things, choose some sort of a chicken casserole, or that, maybe there's going to be a grill or a barbecue and you can throw some steaks or a burger or something on, and go through the line once. That is the biggest thing, is often with potlucks and buffets, we go back over and over and over again because we kind of skimp on our first portions and then we're still hungry. And then, or somebody says, oh, did you try, grandma's blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, I didn't. So you go back to the table and you fill your plate with food again. It's not good. So here's the thing. You can often get through the main dishes pretty well, but then, of course, there is the dessert table, right? Or there might be the sundae table, or everybody's going for ice cream, and then there's more desserts and stuff. How do you navigate that? How do you go into that not feeling deprived? Well, again, it's what you think, right? And it's how much, how often. So if you don't know of the 3-bite rule, I'm going to tell you, the first 3 bites of anything are truly what give you the most pleasure and satisfaction. They're the ones that light your pleasure center in your brain up the most. We often just finish eating it, whatever's there, because it's right there. So if you want to try, what I do when I see dessert tables and stuff like that, is I pick the thing that I totally really want, something that I don't usually make myself, and I will choose it. I will have one thing, I will fully enjoy it, and I have no guilt about it. Now, if I take something and I have a bite of it and it's just not worth it. So first of all, in potluck and buffet situations, my belief, and your belief should be too, is that it should be absolutely awesome if it's going into your body. It shouldn't just be okay. It shouldn't just be, this is all right, but you just kind of finish eating it to be polite or to not seem rude. No one's going to notice, right? You can just be full and say, oh, you know what? I've actually took too much. My eyes are bigger than my stomach. Use your words, right? So that's the other thing. If I take something and I actually don't care for it, I don't finish it. We don't need to finish what's on our plates all the time. And sometimes that can just be old stories, old programming of what we've heard when we were younger. So desserts are the trickiest because they're often dense. They pack a lot of energy onto your body. There can be pressure to eat them. You can start eating it and then the sugar can feel oh, you get the sugar rush and you want more. And so then it comes back to having the plan, right? Why are you at this event? Is it to eat your face off? No. Is it strictly about the food? No. You're there to have fun and connect and to, talk with people you haven't spoken to, or hopefully that's why you're there. Sometimes we have to go to some events that we are not necessarily keen to go to, but we go for family reasons or whatever, work reasons. But even then, it's up to you to find the good, to make it about the experience, not about the food. The food needs to become the side event, not the main event. And if you follow those tips, you can actually get through any situation pretty well. Sometimes when people are cutting cake, like say if there's a big birthday celebration, somebody else is dishing up the portion you get is like huge. It's meant for a lion, not a kitty cat like you are. Well, then you in your mind or physically, you'll cut it into half in your mind and you eat half. And then you give it through half to somebody else or you put it down and walk away. These are the kind of strategies that we all need to employ. We've had a ton of food, there's been a ton of access to food over the past few days and so much of it is good, but it's like knowing your limits, right? It's kind of like knowing your limits with money. How much can I spend today? What's going to put me into debt? What's going to be beyond my spending? And when you think about it that way, you depersonalize it. And so often women make weight loss so personal because they believe that they've failed with the dieting mentality, which is all or none, good or bad, on or off, cheating, like on the wagon, off the wagon, and those sorts of things. So summer's here. Summer's going to come every season for the rest of your life. And so we have to know how to navigate through summer and all of the social activities without summer being the reason we put on 10 pounds. It doesn't need to be that way. And often we feel worse in our bodies when we do. It was cold here, it was cold here this weekend. And so putting on a bathing suit and jumping in the lake didn't happen a ton too often for me. But you know what I love? I love that I can. Because I remember the days with my kids when I would have been too self-conscious to go do that I wouldn't have felt comfortable doing that. And I always, I reflect back and think, wow, that was 8 years ago and it doesn't seem that long ago, but I can still remember the feelings of it. So if you're watching this or if you're watching the replay, just remember strategies plus how you think about it is what's going to be the thing that creates permanent change, right? Little tweaks in what you do have massive impact. They really do. What's hard is making these massive changes and only doing it for a little time period. Well, that will end up having no impact at all. It is the consistency over time with how you approach this that creates the change. So that's it for now. My phone was not fully charged, so I wanted to show up and say hello. It is my commitment to be here every Monday at 12 p.m. To answer questions and to address the latest things that have come in on the comment section. And so I hope this helps. And I'll be back again next Monday. If you do have a topic that you want me to cover, put it in the comments or email me, jennifer@jenniferpowder.com. And I'll do a Facebook Live for you. It is totally my pleasure to help. And the other thing is, if you don't know, I have a live Q&A happening soon. I can't remember the date. We just asked people what was the best date and time for them, and I believe it's this Thursday. So if you're wanting to come in, you don't have to sign up for it. I'll put the link in the comments, but if you just want to come into like a virtual meeting room and like chat with me, ask me your questions, talk to me about what's going on for you. It's going to be fun. There's been questions that people have been sending in already if they can't come live, but there's, it's a chance just to like talk and like, let's get some of the science perspective behind, what's been frustrating you or troubling you the most. I guarantee there's a solution. I guarantee there's a fix. I guarantee there's going to be a method, a strategy, a suggestion that you can get from it that's going to help move you forward. So that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic, if you're in Canada, I hope you have a great long weekend, a holiday Monday. If you're in the States, I hope that you are looking to gear up for a super fantastic July 4th. And if you're anywhere else in the world, I hope whatever celebrations that are coming for you this week, you get to enjoy them. Bye for now.